What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? You already know what time it is. You either get right or you get left. You in the bird cage. We got the On the Perch edition. We have a special guest tonight, one of the best running backs to ever come through Alcorn State in the SWAC, as you see. I'm not going to let him come up in here and run my house. As you can see, I got this SU right behind your boy tonight. I got to show out for my boys from the Southern University because we got a rival in the building, but it's okay. At least he ain't from Grambling. But before you get this thing started tonight with us, go ahead and hit that like and that subscribe button. We really enjoy bringing you guys great content as well as Falcons information as well. We got a little bit of that too for you tonight. So sit back, relax, don't touch that dial. Let's go.
Okay, y'all, this is it.
Welcome back. Hit that like and subscribe button as you come in. We already got that covered. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and bring in one of the members of the Magnificent Birdcage crew. We got K Dub in the building tonight. What's going on, man? You ready for this lovely interview we got planned with a rival of mine tonight?
Oh yeah, we got it ready to get into it with the historian arrival school. But hey, look, man, it's HBCU night. We're gonna give him his flowers for the things that he's done on the gridiron, and we're gonna get his expertise on later in the show about some of the players coming out in the draft. It's gonna be exciting. All our listeners, subscribers, and followers out there, it's good to be in the building tonight. The bird cage is in, so let's go tell a friend, tell a friend. Hit that like, share, subscribe button, and buckle up your seatbelts. It's a great interview in store, and we'll get into it tonight. Glad to be in the building with the historian tonight and our fellow guests, and then let's get started.
Boy, you laid that on as thick as 3-day-old grits, man. So but it's all good. But here's the thing, we gotta lay this guidance on everybody. But before I lay it down or whatnot, I'm gonna go ahead and introduce you to this gentleman. I'm gonna go ahead and show you a little bit of his footage or whatnot, because he's definitely one of the premier backs that has ever come through the SWAC. Respect on that. And he ended up playing overseas, and he's gonna talk a little bit about it. So this is a little bit about our guest, Mr. Arnold Walker, before you guys get to talk to him. Well, we get to talk to him, but you guys get to listen and hear his story or whatnot face to face. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and share the screen, which is we always do, because I'm going to do that tonight anyway. But got to go ahead and get this going on right now with Mr. Arnold Walker. Fair use, fair use, fair use.
Fair use.
So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we're getting ready to bring in the man, the myth, the legend. Also from your side of town, K Dub. He is an East Side resider. We
Yeah, yeah,
got
yeah. I
Mr.
think,
Arnold Walker.
yeah.
What's going on? What's going on?
You know
What it
what?
is, what it do.
It seems like we getting a lot. Look, I'm getting a rival in here on top of that. And now we got another East Side boy up in here.
Oh
Now
yeah,
my
yeah.
feelings is hurt right now.
That east side,
Man, we represent well in here, man.
that east
Hey man, I'm still
side,
hey,
shit.
hey man, I'm still
That
standing on for the
east
spots. You know what's happening.
side, shit. That east side.
Yeah, I
Oh
want to. I
man.
want to just say it's a privilege. Being on you guys' show. It's highly. I heard a lot about you guys, and
Uh,
I just hope that I do well in bringing more attention to you guys' show, as well as telling my story. But I also want to just say something right now, real quick, about this background that you have.
Hey man, tread lightly. Tread lightly.
I just want to talk about that, but we'll wait in the show. We'll wait.
It's okay because you see, I got a fellow Hall of Famer behind me.
Hey,
You understand what I'm saying?
yeah,
You
man.
got one of the best. Think about it. It's 3 Hall of Famers that come up out that school. One of them is behind me, and one of the best corners to ever play in the league. The other one was Mr. Mel Blunt, who a rule was named after. And then you got Harold Carmichael, Mr. 6'8". If you wanted to know what LeBron James looked like in football pads, that's what you got to see.
That is crazy.
6'8".
yeah.
We can
But
talk
man,
about
welcome to the
our
show.
main guy that will
You know
shut.
what?
We'll
I'm
talk
gonna be
about
nice
our main
tonight.
guy and shut all this down.
You know
Yeah,
what?
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna be nice
yeah.
tonight. I'm gonna be nice tonight, because one of my favorite football players came up out of your school,
Mr.
and
Steve.
he's a living legend. Even though I got my Southern stuff, I'm gonna show it for a quick second, and I'm going back to my Southern stuff. I'm letting you know that now. Rest in peace to Mr. Steve McNair, Mr.
Mr.
Alcorn
Nine.
State,
Mr. Nine.
Mr.
Yeah.
Nine.
Himself.
And
Mr.
and
Nine.
and here's the funny part: I wore number 9 in high school because of him.
Yes, sir.
Mm.
Walter Payton was my idol, but Steve McNair was a guy that I got to watch that had that same Mississippi toughness like Sweetness. So I wore number 9 because of Steve McNair. My mom can actually testify to that.
It's crazy.
So
That's crazy. We got some. I see one of the comments right now, which is his family members. So we got his family members in here. You give them those props right now, man. I just really appreciate that. Now was different. It was
Oh yeah, man,
Yeah.
for sure.
good.
For
Man.
sure.
and for me, growing up, I'm from Atlanta, but I moved from Atlanta to Jacksonville. So I was in Jacksonville, Florida, when the Tennessee Titans, well, the Oilers, then the Titans, they had those epic battles where Steve McNair was putting it on the Jaguars. Sorry, Coach McGriff, I got to talk about the Jags a little bit. But Steve McNair owned them boys, him and Eddie George, man. Those were some battles right there. And he was robbed out of the Heisman, just like my idol, Walter Payton. They were robbed out of the Heisman.
Rob.
Yes,
Rob.
sir. So man, so tell us a little bit about yourself, man. You're from the east side of the city, McNair High School.
Ronald E. McNair.
Ronald
you
E.
was, you was coached by one of our guys on that you saw on the screen. We call him Scoop, aka the Black Wall Street Journal, because he's always got the information.
Yes, sir.
But his name, everybody knows his name. His name is Sinquay Mentor, better known as Quavo out on the east side.
Yes, sir.
But tell us a little bit about your connection with Coach Quavo and what got you into football and what literally prompted you to uh, get into it when you got a little older as well.
Well, when I actually met Sanquay, it was like maybe 4 or 5. We had just moved in, newly moved into the neighborhood. He stayed a street over, but between the streets we had a big playing field where all the kids linked up and played football, or the little neighborhood games. I saw those boys playing, and I wanted to always play with them. The younger kid playing with the older guys. So they used to toss me the ball around. We used to play up and down. They would tackle me just like they would do to themselves. But I quickly learned the game. Started playing when I was 5. I can vividly remember my dad asking me, did I want to play flag football? And I was like, nah, I want to play contact. Like, I want to hit. But I played on offensive side. I played running back all my life, which is crazy. Greatly that I never received any major injuries or any head injuries. Just been a dog, man. Like I just like that like it's a game. From the beginning when I started playing, my dad told me not one man bring you down. Like I said, when I started at 5, which is crazy. This is a crazy story. My dad had me and my older brother, which is 6 years older than me, go in the backyard and go straight up head up with each other for like 10, 12 reps. I'm leaving with crying, headache, everything. But the next day of practice, played at Gresham Park, next day of practice, it was another story. So I took that mentality with me from middle school, high school, all the way to college, and even overseas. I played with that anger on the field. Nice guy off the field. Never got in trouble or anything, but I took that rage with me on the field. And I was just like, man, it's a man's game. Like I wanted, success. Wanted to get in the touchdown every time I got the ball in my hands, and just that's the way I played the game.
And as we saw in that video, you were low around 220, 230 around that time, you know what I'm saying? And watching you go downhill now, it's a comparison that I'm gonna give you.
Okay.
And I kind of talked a little bit about it off camera. So, it's hard for me to do it because we got Eagle fans I got to deal with, but your running style reminded me a little bit of an old school running back by the name of Mr. Wilbur Montgomery. If you don't know who Wilbur Montgomery is, he's from Greenville, Mississippi, a Mississippi boy that ended up going to Abilene Christian and playing for the Philadelphia Eagles. He had one of the greatest cutback runs in playoff history. 1980 NFC Championship game, cut back and ran it for about 90 yards, and they beat the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I don't like the Eagles like that, but anytime you beat Dallas or you beat New Orleans, it's always a good day. So your running style literally is very similar to his. You're very physical. You can take a hit, you can dish out a hit, but you were very slick in between the tackles from what we observed and what we saw.
Yes,
and it's scary even thinking about it, man. But the other question I have for you was, now you get through the high school portion of it, you do well, you get in schools to look at you. How do you feel as if you were able to maintain the same type of competitive edge when you had all kinds of schools that were looking at you? But what puts you in the mindset of saying Alcorn State is the perfect place for me? We could have used you at Southern, as you know, but it's all good.
Man, I just wanted to carry what was brought to me. When the coaches came and got me out of the classrooms, I felt that embrace of a family. When I took the visit, I felt that embracement again. And then just the culture that HBCU serves. Everyone is family. Like, it's thousands of people there, but it's still just a family. Like, if I meet someone now, it's just like, man, hey, come on to the house, or we throwing this, and you welcome here. So I got that culture. When football season came, it was just like, oh yeah, these some dogs, and I need to find somebody that's another level from me who I need to practice and do reps with every single day so I can make sure my level has progressed from high school to college. So I went with that mindset of just, I know I want to be the best. What's the records here? And I went and got them.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. Assertive. Assertive.
Yes, sir.
Well, yeah, like I said, you had a stint doing some research that you had some stint with the Falcons. Talk about that to the listeners and subscribers out there.
Had a trial with the Falcons. I was never a fast guy. I was, more power and balance. So I feel my 40 time kind of screwed me over, and I dropped the pass right in front of Coach Smith at the time, right in front of him. Man, it was just like, dang. And I feel that really hurt me. But I'm also a guy. I'm not the times and the bench press guy. I'm a turn on the film type guy. I feel like if I was invited to a mini camp or anything, they probably would have said, let's think about this. Let's get this guy in here and let's see what he can do.
Yeah, yeah. I feel. I just want to say, like, expound on it, just that experience, because even some people don't even get an invite to try out.
Man, it was everything. Just just having your name on that locker.
Yeah.
It was just like it wasn't. I wasn't there, but it just felt like, man, I got the opportunity that every kid dreamed about having.
Yeah.
I'm in the Falcons facility. I see my name right here on this my locker at the time, and then just listening to different coaches and training staff or how they do things, and you like, this is my opportunity. So that alone was great. I enjoyed it, man. I did enjoy it. I wish I could have played in the league, but it's still an opportunity that most don't even get.
Yeah, man. So I just wanted to touch on that because I thought that was a nice tidbit because this is a birdcage type of show. So,
And then it's
but
the whole team, man.
huh?
And then it's
Yes,
the whole
yeah,
team.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Then the home team, so it's even more special. But yeah, but expound on that. But also, I know I'm sure the historian got even more questions, but I got some questions for you. Like how was it like you said? I know it's a family in the HBCU, but do you think that experience would have been better if you had to expound on going to a PWI where you learn more cultural because you're around different type of cultures?
Man,
What's the
I
difference?
wouldn't honestly, man, I wouldn't take it back. You always think about, well, I'm a Georgia guy.
Yeah.
You always want to play in that silver and red on Saturdays, but I would not take back my accolades, the things that I got accomplished, my degree, the people that I met, people who became family. I wouldn't trade that in the world. I wouldn't trade it. I would not. Uh, the experience, just outside of football, everything was, it's a blessing. This is somewhere I'd never seen. It took me to so many places. After football, it took me overseas to Germany. Went to a lot of states I'd never been to before for free. For free. And there's a lot of guys, everybody knows there's a lot of guys that's in high school right now that make the wrong decision.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never,
Everybody.
they
Yeah.
never
Everybody got that. Everybody got that one that probably took
everybody had that
him.
one. Man, he should be in the league. He never left his county or his state.
Yeah. 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 Never left
And
out the state.
and he becomes what we call, unfortunately, a statistic as a street corner legend.
Right.
You were a
Mhm.
guy. You were that guy in high school, but when you end up, when you have an opportunity, you decide to go the other way. You decide
Mhm.
to throw away a chance to possibly do a few things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, you were one of the ones who made it up out of the pitfalls that were around you, had a good head, got a good head on your shoulder. And this is the other thing. The main thing you said, you graduated. Now I give people crap all the time, but the one thing I can say, seeing a young brother like yourself graduate out of college is a beautiful thing. And from one college graduate to another, man, salute, bro.
You can't
I
take
know
that
that
away
work
from
was hard.
you can't take that away from no one. That education, you can get hurt on the field or whatever you're
Yep.
doing. You can't take
Mhm.
education away from them.
And speaking of college graduates, I got a shout out to my guy A1 Forever, Chris Moore into the building. He graduates soon. That's the reason I'm saying that.
A1.
Appreciate you coming through. Uncle
A1 like day
Steve.
one.
We
Uncle
see Uncle
Steve
Steve in the
Lounge.
building. And everybody that has joined us tonight from the McNair family, from my personal family that's in the building supporting. You know, my auntie is, she a SU Jag to the day she died, baby. So, she definitely commented on that. So she's she always supports HBCUs, but when it comes time, when the season comes, we gonna have a little trash to talk.
Oh, come on now.
You got us last year. I'm not gonna sit there.
That's what I do best.
Last year. But hold on. But that's last year though. We got something for you, dog.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Well, remember, we got one.
When I started playing to now, man, the last win. How many wins have y'all had since 2009?
Honestly, it's only been a few. I'm not even gonna sit there in front because you guys have handed it to us, but we've been handing it right back.
I'm gonna tell you what we used to say when I was still there. The last time we lost to Southern, George Bush was the president. That's what we used to say.
That's a lie. Hey, Obama was in the last time we won something. Don't start that lie.
No, I'm telling you. If you want to
I'm telling you.
Wait a minute. That was when you was holding the rock.
No, I'm just saying.
But I had to graciously step away. Doctor advised me to. But you and I talked about this. Because at the time, Coach Odoms was at Southern at the time before he went to Norfolk State. One of his assistants, thanks to my semi-pro coach, Coach Terry McGriff, he set us up with with Mike Smith, who you mentioned last week. He actually kind of set it up because I actually was going to be an SU Jag, but due to injuries, because like I said, I'm happy that you didn't get those severe injuries because most running backs don't last that long, and I'm glad to see you have all your faculties. I had knee injury. But I'm letting you know now, you and I would have had some fun. Because the funny part about it is at the time I was supposed to go, you were actually in the backfield.
Hey, man.
And I definitely respect it. I really respect your game. And I love guys that don't shy away from contact because it makes the game fun. It's like, you got your helmet, you got your shoulder pads. Why shy away from it?
Yes, sir.
And my thing is I love dudes with heart and you run with heart. So it's all respect on this end. I like to talk a little trash, but it's all respect because
you have been like a little 15 miles an hour speed bump in the school.
Nah. I'm gonna let you in on a little something. I'm gonna let you in on a little something.
You got a little school, you're in the school zone, man.
Hey, you know what? What's funny about that? See, you was 230. I was 215 at the time.
Actually, I was 218, 220, 222. I didn't get past 222 playing weight, but man, hey, listen, man, it's tough when I was going down here. I'm not gonna say
no, you was a load. I
would have
That's Tony talking trash. Tony, I'm gonna tell you like this. The only thing you would have ran over is a piece of shit. That's my boy though. Love Tony. He from out east too. Tony talk trash. Shout out to 3-time champ sports. That's my guy Tony. But back to you. Man. I'm gonna let you know right now. You'd have caught like how you slid through and you was tiptoeing. I'd have caught you tiptoeing through the tulips and I'd have made you smell the roses.
No, I never tiptoed.
You tipped when you slid through that hole.
That's that Euro in the football.
Hey, hold on. What you say? You said I gotta get skinny one time.
It's just a Euro.
That's a little like that little Euro. Okay.
Hey, it's okay. Listen, I like Grecian Euros anyways. Shout out to the Grecian Euro off Virginia Avenue. Some of the best Euros in the city, by the way. But yeah, I eat Euros all day. But we the battle though. I definitely loved how you really ran tough between the tackles. You were a hard-nosed runner downhill. And you had some wiggle to you, even though that wasn't mainly your game, right. You had a little wiggle to you, and you definitely punished a lot of guys that were would-be tacklers. And it's like this is what guys don't understand. And I'm old school, and you were raised in that. If you don't understand how the forces of gravity and the forces of balance and everything works, you have to understand. you have to be going full speed to tackle somebody. You cannot have step when you're running up on a big back. Period.
You can't be the nail. You have to be the
You
hammer.
have to be the hammer.
Every time.
Exactly. And that's on either side of the ball, because the thing is, a great collision is not going, no one's going to get hurt. You know what I'm saying? No one's going to get hurt with a great collision.
Right.
Where the injuries start is when guys start tiptoeing and they half step. And I saw a lot of guys that did not want any contact in those clips. No lie.
Never. It's all this before the game. Hey, Arnold. Hey, Arnold. All of this. But when that game starts and that ball in my hand, I don't care if you're a D lineman, linebacker, or safety. You're going to get this work.
Safety.
That's okay. Hey, remember this. Safety is the last line of defense, and that's your mobile linebacker right there. So, I'm going to say this here. You might get a cornerback to olay you, but you ain't going to get a safety to olay you. That right there show up on the film. That's not good. Coach see that, hey, man, what you doing sidestepping him? And you supposed to be filling the hole. What you doing?
Listen, we're going to go head up. Either we're going to go head up, we're going to fall sideways, or it's going to be an embarrassment.
But here's the thing, though. Most guys, and you experienced this during the time you were there, because the game really started to change. Most guys didn't wrap up when they tackled you.
Right.
And be honest, it made life a lot easier for you as a former running back.
A lot
just
easier.
Being able to have guys that didn't have fundamentals. From
my freshman year to because I got redshirt in my sophomore year. Tore my knee. I really thought that was it for me. That was my second major injury. I tore my collarbone, or broke my collarbone, my sophomore year in high school. So it was like sophomore years was crazy for me. But when I tore my ACL, my first game, it was a stat game, man. I had 86 yards. Beginning of the second quarter, 4th and 3 play. It was like something. Literally, I told everyone I should have called timeout, but a running back calling timeout is crazy. Tore my knee. I thought that was it for me. My mom didn't want me to play. Kind of got discouraged, but alumni, teammates got me back on the field, got me back in that weight room and training room. Worst pain ever in my life. I can say that. Breaking that cartilage up. But got back on the field. When I got back on the field, I was timid. I was not the same guy. I tried to change my style up, try to get a little wiggle more, but that wasn't me. So got things back right. And like I said, my senior year, it got so easy to me, and I found, okay, I don't need to give everyone my body. Sometimes I need twist and turn, hit and spin. And when I learned those things out, like, most people want to tackle you straight up. And as a ball carrier, you got to win the battle. So when I was giving the people half my body, it was just so easy to break off, especially on running downfield, and how heavy I was. So it just became easy.
Okay. So the question I have for you guys is this, man. And this is also for you, K-Dub, because you played in the secondary back in the day in high school, and you understand it. And you also wrestle. So when we talk about fundamentals with the game now, and you coming through Alcorn during a time where Coach McNair, who everybody talk about Steve, the baby brother, but you got to understand, Coach McNair, the original Air McNair, that dude was a bad man.
Oh man, we're having difficulties over here. Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. It's an improvement.
Don't make me put the jersey on, man. I
wouldn't even be mad at you if you put it on, dog. You still look like you can run through a couple of linebackers here and there. You still look like you got it.
Yes, sir.
But so the question is for you guys, what do you guys think when we talk about old school coaching and these coaches that are coaching now, where they can't really talk to kids the way that we were the last of the Mohicans? That's the best way to say it. We actually had coaches in our face, cussing us out, calling us every name under the sun, and then grab you by the face mask or just get up on you and then next thing you know, slap you on the butt and say, "Let's get it right before I sit your ass down."
Right.
And so, do you think what you went through with Coach McNair and K Dub, you went through with some of your coaches back in the day, and I can attest for myself? Do you feel as if the game has gotten softer and a lot of these coaches really can't get the best out of their players now is what we got the experience coming up?
Well, I definitely. I
Go
mean,
ahead, man. Go ahead, because I got a lot to say about this.
I definitely do. I think it's soft as baby boo boo, but I mean, that's the kind of coaching I wanted, all up in your face, like Junction, Texas type of coaching. That's what I attended to. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's probably why I was able to do the military because they get up in your face. So it's like
Yep.
I don't know. Everybody has a different way if they want to be approached, but I just feel like that style gets it done. I mean, it got it done in the past. It can get it done now. It's just the fact that they've been babied through the last 10 to 15 years, and it's not going to bode well in the future for us, especially right now, but definitely in the future when I'm trying to retire, and these are the people that are running the country. So I don't know, man. I hate to throw anybody under the bus. I'm just throwing my 2 cents out there.
I'm very blunt. I'm not gonna call out any names or anything, but it's super soft, man. A couple of me and the fellas always say it's gonna become flag football eventually.
Yep.
Listen, at the time of a coach all in your face and he doing all of this and that, who wants that? Like literally at the moment, but that molds you into a man. That molds you into a real life situations. How would you conduct yourself? How you gonna respond? And what you gonna do? Because the coach in your face, okay, I'm gonna go cry, or I'm finna. Most guys now they coach in your face. Oh man, I'm quitting. Like
I'm hitting the transfer portal. I don't want this no more. Man, please.
Man,
I would get pissed off, ready to. I'm just being honest. That can, like how you said, that controlled rage. You'll be ready to throw hands with coach when he get on you. But then you're like, man, you know what?
That's also something in you
that's
now.
A pride thing.
When I get back on the field, when my rep, I'm finna take it out on somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take it out on somebody. So
yeah, man.
If you thought I was soft, oh well, listen, it ain't your fault, but it's coach why I'm finna do this to you. So that's how I play, man. But today's game, so the quarterback you can't even touch the quarterback these days, which is crazy.
And this is a running back saying this. Thank God.
I play on offense, and half the penalties nowadays, like, man, we might as well go play basketball when a little slap on the wrist is a flag, like a foul, whatever you want to.
Yeah, expect the receivers can do whatever out there, man.
And the thing is, being a former safety / DB, I played every spot in the field. You can't. Here's the thing: receivers get a free pass every game.
Yes.
Now it's like it's no such thing as what what my coach used to tell me. He said, "Hey, if he decide to come across the highway, he said you got to be that toll booth. He got to pay the cost to be the boss and come across your area." He said he got to pay to catch that ball, and he said, "I don't care if you dislodge it from him. I don't care if you take him out with a forearm to the throat. I just want you to decapitate him one way or another. He can't run in this area free. And if he run in this area free, I'm gonna put my foot between your hip pockets." That's what coach used to say. Well, I chose to clean it up. He used to say something a little bit more explicit, so I had to kind of clean it up a little bit.
Let me ask this question since we're on this topic. How you guys feel about all this targeting? All this stuff, man. The guy really can't control his body in fast motion like that. How you guys feel about it?
I think it's BS. They got to find something, but it don't make no sense because you moving too fast, making quick decisions to where you are. It's tough, man. It's a tough game, but it's like this game when you playing it, like you said, at a young age, 5, 6, 7 years old. I had a dream to go to the NFL. It comes with a lot of risk. Right. So, I mean, if you're gonna play it, you got to play it. Let them play it. Don't be trying to make all these penalties and these rules. You taking, I ain't gonna say the fun out of it, but you taking the actual the game out of the game
Most
because
these most
this is
these
a
go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
no, it's because what it is just like they had the movie Gladiator. It's just modern day Gladiator, but it's strategic now. It's just not we throw you in a ring and see if you can come out alive. Going against a lion or something like that. But it's more strategic, but it's nothing but modern day Gladiator. You can't put all these rules into it. You have to let them play the game like they did, and Pop Warner and before they started to take I mean, you can always make the equipment better. I'm for making the helmets better, more safer, the shoulder pads, the butt pad, whatever all the pads they got. Hey, make it safer. But as far as all these rules and penalties, they need to stop with that because it makes people not want to watch it more.
Right.
So, and I want to ask you. So, during your time at Alcorn, there's a huge rivalry between you guys and Jackson State.
Okay.
Mississippi Valley State is like the little brother of the state between y'all.
Get on out of here. Get on.
That's the little brother of the state. With what you guys have when you talk about the rivalry, my idol Walter Payton talked about it because a lot of folks don't know that he was slated. He actually was committed to go to Kansas. He was actually going to play running back at Kansas. And on his way back home from Kansas, he said it didn't feel when he was there. He said the atmosphere was okay, but it didn't feel like home to him. He talked about his legendary coach, Bob Hill, who was a former fullback for Jackson State. He and the coach of Alcorn State at the time got in a fist fight in the tunnel before the game. It was some words exchanged. He talks about it. If you want to know about it, read Never Die Easy. I'm giving them free pub, boy. But Never Die Easy is the book that he talked about it. And he said Coach Hill and the Alcorn State coach got into a major fist fight. Coach Hill gets his shirt ripped in half. He runs back to the locker room. He's cheering and he's looking and he sees his brother Eddie running right with him. And he said, this feels like home. This is the atmosphere I want to play in. And he said that made him more comfortable with staying home and going to Jackson State. Now, with your experiences during your recruiting process, when you went to Alcorn State, what was it that really got you to feel like, man, it's home? This is where I'm getting ready to put in my work.
So
What was it about Alcorn State that really got you to commit? Because you had other schools that wanted you.
oh man, it was just like I said, it was when the coach came and got me out, how he really talked. Other coaches came in, they gave the political side of things. This guy came in, he spoke my language. He sat me down, he told me what to expect. When I got there, I expected those things, and those things actually happened. It wasn't until the season started, honestly. Me being a city boy going to the straight country, it wasn't to the city. It wasn't until the season started and I saw those fans in the stand that dun 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 dun, and you see thousands of fans doing the same hand motion. You see the band. You see just. Yeah, I mean, you got to experience to actually know what I'm talking about. And those who have been to a game, they know. But it wasn't until that, and we brought that winning tradition back. It was just like, this it.
And you
I
played
feel you.
for and playing for Coach McNair. What was his philosophy for his football team? Whether it was offense, defense. We know he's an offensive genius. I that's one thing from watching Alcorn State all those years on ESPN or watching them on they show them on WB sometimes. When you watch those offenses, because I watch them play against Southern and many other schools, because I support HBCUs heavy. I don't care who's playing, I'm watching. Doesn't matter. And you look at it, he's one of the smartest coaches that I've seen, and it's a ton of them out there, ton of them. But looking at how he runs an offense with precision, it's a beautiful thing, and it's a shame that he's never gotten an opportunity at the Division One. I'm sorry, at the PWI level,
Right.
because he definitely is a hell of a coach.
Well, coach. just to correct you real quick, Coach McNair was the assistant offense coordinator and the quarterbacks coach my senior year. Now, when I left, he became the offense coordinator. But we was up under Willie Simmons. But him as
smart man,
him as a coach, Willie Simmons, FAMU, and now
FAMU. That's why I said that's another one that's a dog as a head coach, boy.
That dude know how to call plays and know how to put stuff together. But to answer your question,
Moosey got to be a first round pick because of Willie Simmons.
Man, listen. But to answer your question, man, Fred was so laid back, but his style in the game, how much he taught you, and he'll just, if it wasn't your rep right now, he'll pull you to the side and tell you exactly what you did, what you can do better, and what to look for. Like as a quarterbacks, I used to always be around the quarterbacks because I need to know the knowledge of the game too, what front, if it's a scheme they're in. I used to just pick those guys' brain and just listen to Coach Mack. But downhill, he wanna put the points on the board. He don't care if it's 40 seconds left in the game. We scoring. Like that's what kind of guy that I like. But in him being that, just knowing the game, Coach Mack is different, man. Coach Mack, I hate that, he went over there to.
You know what? He finally got some sense. That's what it was.
No,
he is the tight ends coach now at the Southern University. It's okay.
It's
crazy. Okay.
That's crazy.
We welcome him with open arms because we know he's gonna help us win the SWAC this year, so it's all good.
That's a
he
long
ain't gonna sabotage nothing.
You reaching, my boy. You really reaching.
We ain't got to reach if he's sitting on that sideline with that powder blue and that gold on.
Okay. Well, we shall see. Time will
tell.
Don't worry, when Southern play Alcorn State, I know I'm gonna hear from you.
You want to go to the game?
You want to go to the game?
You ain't saying nothing but a word. What's up?
You want to go to the game? Hey, let's do it.
Now, see, I was supposed to be trying to go to the Bayou Classic this year. That's where I was supposed to be going. But I definitely let slide up for Southern and Alcorn State.
You can still make the Bayou. We don't play. Y'all play after the Bayou Classic.
Yeah, we play around Thanksgiving time. That's when they play around Thanksgiving time around the Bayou.
We normally play Southern around August 6, 13, something in that range.
Okay. So in other words, we definitely got to catch that.
We going to that game.
Yes, sir. Look, I already know some of your teammates already watching on here. That's that joker right there that was on that show. We got something for him.
Yeah, you're gonna sit right next to me.
And I'm gonna talk, and I'm gonna tell you just like this here. If I can deal with Eagle fans, I definitely could deal with y'all.
Hey, listen. College is way different from
NFL. Think about it.
In the stands. In the stands is, but college.
Gotta remember, think about this. When you I'm not gonna reveal what team you wanted to play for in the SEC. I'm gonna leave that alone because you like the dogs. I'm gonna let that one go. That's but fair. Just be honest, like we talk about the dogs and the Gators or whatnot. Right. We talk about the world's largest cocktail party. I still call it that.
Yeah.
I grew up in between that, being in Jacksonville with all them darn Lizard fans around there. You don't think that I ain't have to go through nothing?
Like that, a lizard fan.
Just think about it. I had to deal with all them stinking lizards around Duval County. You don't think I ain't have to throw hands with none of them jokers, or I had to worry about trash talk? Oh man, I'm battle tested, dog. This ain't nothing.
Well,
when you go through RV, think about it. When you walk through RV City down there where it's split, where you got dogs on one side and gators on the other side, and you trying to get to that side, it's different. It's a literal hate with that one. At least with this one, it'll be a good fun. But it's a hate with that round.
I would say all 60 minutes, but we in the stand. So all 3 hours and 28 minutes and 13 seconds is trash talk with your boy Arnold Walker, all right? And
I'm good with it, baby. I'm good with it, baby.
60 minutes is short. So I'm gonna say those 3 hours and those 28 minutes. When the band is still playing, we still.
All I'm gonna tell you is this. All I'm gonna tell you is this. You better hope that Southern don't put foots to you because
only,
you know what's gonna happen if Southern put foots to you or whatnot.
The only argument you can possibly win, and if any SOD fans are on here right now, I apologize. But I was also a person on the field dancing to the juke joint. The juke joint. Hey, listen, I'm gonna go.
Yes, sir. You know what's up.
They flowers. The juke joint is.
The juke joint is the best band in the land, dog. HBCU.
I said
you ain't got to say it. I'm saying
it. Say that. I said they are. That's what I said.
Stand on it, baby.
I ain't even give no adjective. I said they are.
No. I know you didn't. But all I'm gonna tell you is this: the worst thing that could happen to you is if them doggone SU Jags win, and the worst thing you could hear is that song that you know about called "Gangsta B," my guy, and you know about it. Fair use, fair use, fair use.
Oh Lord, here we go.
You know when you hear them horns, baby, you in trouble. You know what's up. I hate. Go home. Go home.
Terrible, man.
Yes, sir. Hey, you know that was just a recording they got. See, I'm not even gonna let it ride out like that because you know they'll sit there and cut my show on Facebook and everything. But you know, anytime you know when y'all have lost that game and you hear that sound, you know that's not a good sound. Arnold, you heard that twice in your career. You heard that 2 times in your career when you heard them boys saying, "Go home, go home." You know that.
You say I heard it twice in my career.
I'm just messing with you.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
now you actually, real talk, you actually ate on during the time you played against Southern, minus your freshman year. You actually ate against that defense. I got to give you that. And you know Southern's defense is tough. They fly around and they'll hit you in the mouth. You know that.
Yes, sir.
Now, the problem is if you beat them, they be ready to fight you. That's the problem.
The crazy thing is, my senior year, we played them. In which we was murdering them. We let them come back, and we played in overtime. And they got the ball first, but they threw a pick. Anthony Williams Jr. He picked it off. He ran it back. Of course, you know we start on the 20. He ran it back about 60 yards. Willie Quinn. Was
remember him?
Willie Quinn was a dog. Willie Quinn went from the other side of the field and tracked him down and got him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Probably my best play ever in college. First play, coach on the sideline, he asked him, like, what are we gonna run? What are we gonna run? I told him the exact play, what I wanted to run. He looked me in my eye. This is no lie. He looked me in my eye, he said, F it, let's run it. That was it. I broke 3 tackles, went in the end zone. The crazy thing is how I got to this story. Mm-hmm. Both of our state troopers left Coach Hop. They left Coach Hop, and they came to me. They told me to keep my helmet on, and they escorted me right on out there. I mean, of course, we know they throwing stuff out. Man, when the state troopers left our head coach and came 10 times, broke 10 times. That's his favorite play. Listen, I broke so many tackles and ran it, and that was a ball game. When I saw those state troopers come and tell me, "Hey, keep your helmet on. We taking you to the bus." I didn't have to go and get my clothes, my bag. I couldn't dress.
They was trying to get you up out of.
They
was trying to get you up out of bed.
Man.
Hey, but just think about it. If you remember what happened with Jackson State when they came in there and they played that real close game, and they ended up losing at the end of Jackson State because what was his name? Shiloh ended up picking off the game-winning pass or whatnot, and he high-stepped it down the sideline like Prime. And they all tried to fight them jokers after the game. If you remember seeing it on ESPN, that was, I'll be honest with you, it was a hell of a game, but to me, I feel like that shouldn't even happen. I get tempers fly, but it's like, dog, it's over. It's over. Just shake the man's hand. Hey, you got us today.
The thing about Southern, man, they travel. No matter where you play, if you playing at your home or if you playing at their home, they're gonna be there. But the atmosphere in Southern is, first of all, it's humid as ever. You got an undershirt on or anything, take it off. You can't breathe. The band is super loud. The fans is going crazy, and you just in a tough battle the whole night. So it's a great playing atmosphere. I love playing there, but
you did your thing, bro. I ain't even mad at you. You did your thing. I'm one that's gonna give you credit. I'm gonna talk trash, but I'm gonna give you credit because I give credit to what credit is due, my guy.
One more thing, I was nominated for Male Athlete of the Year in 2013, and I went down to New Orleans for the banquet, and I was just saying I was faced this way, right? And I felt a little tap on my shoulder and a little whisper saying, "I'm glad your A is done playing." When I turned around, it was Southern defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
We shook hands. I already knew who he was. We shook hands. We had a little talk. He was just like, "Man, all 4 years, you gave us pure hell. Are you up and down the sheet before we get on the other team? What is it called?
Scouting report.
It's like you up and down our scouting report from offense to how you run to special teams that you on, how to hit this guy." He was just like, nothing never worked, but I'm just glad you're done, so I don't have to worry about you no more. That was so, like a compliment from another team, but it felt good.
That's the biggest sign of respect. But talk about your time over in Germany a little bit, man. You ended up playing football over in Germany, running back, handling business over there. What was that experience like playing overseas?
Different. From living to playing ball to trying to figure out the language and learn the language, food, being away from family. 14 hours is 14 hours. I can't just pick up the phone and be like, "Mom, Dad, hey, yeah, my brothers, y'all come on over here." I gotta wait half of a day. It was different from just seeing the street and everything that you see in movies and books. It was just like, man, this is real. And that's why I say, to the younger guys, man, let football use you as a tool to get other places, getting your grades and everything. But Germany was different, man. It shows you we are spoiled as Americans.
Yeah, we are.
We are very spoiled. And that's something that I told my parents, like the first day I got over there, just seeing how they live. Of course, we were playing American football, so it was kind of like I was a coach at the same time as a player, with coaching staff giving me the opportunity to say, "Hey, you might know some things that will help these guys." So we give you that, you can go ahead and coach them up a little bit. So, I loved it, man. We practiced 2 days, have a walkthrough game. It was unfortunate that I hurt my foot, and it's a business. Got an MRI, and they said I could break it at any time, and that was it. It was on to the next chapter after that. I felt like, after Germany and playing football overseas, that was something that I prayed for, playing professional football. So that wish was granted. But it was on to the next chapter in life. I felt, since 5 to, I think I was 24, 25 at the time, a good 20 years or 22 years, including injuries and stuff like that I played the game, didn't get no head injuries, got all good memories, can wiggle my toes and fingers, so I'm very blessed. I enjoyed myself over there.
I mean, that's good to hear, man, because like I said, a lot of people don't really get to travel the world. A lot of people don't even leave out the state of Georgia. So with me and Ryan being, former military, I've been around the world and back. So it's good to see how others live, to appreciate what you got going on for yourself.
And then just seeing that, how it used me to get overseas and look at those castles. You know, but outside of football, just seeing
Yeah.
like castles and
It's
just
a different world, isn't it, bro?
how we live versus how they live, and it's just like, man, it was
I got
amazing.
Now here's what you should have done while you was in Germany. Now I'm about to give a bad piece of advice. This the sailor coming up out of me being a coaster. We got a Navy sailor right there and the Coast Guardsman right here. You should have linked up with some of them Black Army soldiers over there. That's what you
Man,
should have done. And
listen,
should have hung out with them boys, man. They would have showed you a good time over there in Germany, man.
listen, man. So it's 6 hours ahead, right?
Yeah.
I used to wait till about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon over there to call my parents or however I was communicating with my parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, man, there's no black people over here.
They're just on the military base.
They're on the base. They're on the base.
I promise you, I was looking for it. Every time I found somebody, I go like, hey man, it was German. I'm just like, goodness. I promise I was looking for it.
Hey man, don't fit. Listen, it's so many different places, like you said, out here in the world that we go to, and so many places that most people don't even get to see.
Right.
And you look at your experience, you got to go to Germany. Not many people can say that you've gone to Germany. Like K Dub's gone to many parts of the world. I've gone to many parts of the world. It's a lot of people that can't say that they've had our experience with seeing the world when you talk about culture. You know, sports brings us together, but when you have different experiences, it brings for great conversation to the table like we have right now.
Right.
Now, there's some stories we can talk about on there, and there's some stories that will go to the grave with us, and only Jesus Christ himself knows. I'll leave it like that. For my fellow veterans, you know what I'm talking about. You know I got to cut up, man. You know, we vets now. Look, half of us, we got families and stuff like this now. So it's like, hey man, there's just certain secrets that just go. But when you get around the VA and you get around your former teammates, you start laughing about it, boy.
Yes, sir.
But
know.
So did you ever get to try Schnitzengroover? I'm a huge Blazing Saddles fan. That's one of my favorite old movies of Mel Blanc. I'm sorry. I always mess his name up. One of the greatest movies of all time. You know, you had Gene Wilder, and then you had Cleavon Little in that movie. That's one of my favorite movies. And you know, he was the sheriff that was the only black man in the town.
Right.
And you know, they treated him like crap. But you know, when he got with the German lady, Schnitzengruvers, you know, sausages. Did you ever get to enjoy some of the cuisine that was there, or did you just kind of stick to what you knew?
I stuck to mostly what I knew, but I cook. If I'm not in an area of people who I know cook for me, I'll just cook myself. I tried, you know, a couple restaurants here and there, but it was
Jaeger Schnitzel.
It was different. It was different, man. So I just went to the nearest grocery store and just cooked most of the times. Honestly,
it makes sense.
Yeah, I probably did the same thing. Just
I knew because I cooked it. I was like, okay, I did this. So
yeah, I guess I see.
Man, I don't know. I was in Japan and I just had to explore. I'm one of the ones that's adventurous. Now, certain stuff that might not look right, I won't touch it. Like the craziest thing I think I saw was roasted dung beetles in the market. I know, and now I love animals and I love wildlife, so I already knew what that was when I saw it. I said, "Nope, I'm good. I won't be trying that." Now, you know, I'm not even a sushi connoisseur, but I tried it over there. So it's just certain things you try when you're in different places because you never know if you're going to ever get back.
right.
And some of the best food that I ever had was over there. Now, I'm not gonna lie, it ain't gonna stick to your ribs now. I'm gonna tell you that now. You're gonna walk around hungry a lot, but it's on point. The flavor is amazing, but that's why you see a lot of those cats over there eating rice like it's nothing because it stick to your ribs.
Right. But at the same time, while I was over there, they pet was part of their family.
Wow.
And I'm, you know, we in the restaurant. I'm seeing a dog at the end of the table. And I'm just, Nah, I'm not even taking takeout from here. So a lot of that kind of turned me off. That's why I said I just went to start cooking. And then I knew, I knew my body frame. And before I went to Germany, I was out of football for a year. So I just wanted to maintain the body frame that I had. It was a lot different from, professional from college. Every single day we doing something in college. And over there we was only practicing 2 days. And the third day was like a walkthrough type. So it was just like, now I have to maintain my strength, my balance, my body structure, and just remain healthy. So I just put all that extra stuff in the blood.
Okay. Well, we definitely appreciate that, man. That was we need you to help us with this second part of this. We going a little over tonight, and I'm fine with that. I know my dog K Dub got to take care of some business. Got to, like we said, we got to pay some bills. But what I'm gonna need your help with tonight, we're gonna evaluate some players that possibly could come to the Falcons. K Dub gonna stay with us for a little bit before he heads off into the sunset, blazing saddles. We definitely got some players that what we do at this part is called the player spotlight. So it's players that really don't get talked about heavy, and we do our research on them. And these are guys that you can see coming in third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh round, even some undrafted free agents. So it's a lot of great talent that we have. So we definitely would love for you to come through with that. Definitely would love that. Cool. So I'm getting ready to get this thing started. What's going on, Ant? Welcome to the show, and welcome to everybody who's just in here. Just go ahead and tap that like button before we get into anything further. And if you didn't get to see Mr. Walker's interview, talked about his time at Alcorn State, time over in Germany, guess what? That's the choice of replay.
Get that
Definitely an
replay.
amazing segment. Yes, but so what we're gonna start off with is something that you're actually gonna be happy about, because this is somebody who would be blocking for you. We're gonna start off with the center position. We're starting off with Mr. Zach Frazier first. So I'm gonna give you the intangibles. Say again, sir.
A genius position.
Gotta be a genius position to play in that part of the field. Yes, gotta help the quarterback. So Zach Frazier, 6'3", 313 pounds, 313-pound center. Started all 4 years while he was at West Virginia. Very tough, durable guy, and very intelligent. So we're gonna go ahead and get this started for you guys. This is one of the guys that we're actually going to look at. Fair use, just to make sure that we have this right. So this is Mr. Zach Frazier. So we don't have any sound, so we went old school with it, as you see. As you can see, he's taking over that zero technique and just flattening him.
Man, a lot of internationally house of pancakes, man. It's
And as you can see, here's another. As he
flattened. Oh man. Yeah.
This is a center that's really been slept upon. He's very solid in the passing game, but he thrives in the running game, as you can see. That's his main strength. He's durable.
That's his move at pancake.
But here's the other thing that a lot of people don't know.
I see some wrestling in his background right there.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say.
That's leverage. That's leverage.
Yeah, he actually used to wrestle in high school, so you can actually see some of that coming out right now.
I know wrestling.
So
he finished too.
Exactly. So here you go from the backside. This is what it looks like in his pass protection, as you can see. Yeah. He gets his hands up. He's not holding. He's pretty much underneath the shoulder pads. Hands up, gives a clear path for the quarterback to throw, and literally is definitely somebody who we could use at the center position, because now that we've lost Dahlman, you pretty much see what we have now.
Oh yeah, he'll be a steal for us.
Exactly. Hand fighting, getting in there.
Gravity.
I just like he used that leverage.
I love it.
So asking you, Arnold, with this guy here, what do you think that his projection would be? Because he's not even projected to be in the top right now when it comes to centers. Zach Frazier is a center that I feel like is a slept-on commodity. And you being a running back, how would you enjoy running behind a player of his magnitude?
Just saying that quick film, man. He is a finisher. I can tell after football he has a job somewhere tossing somebody out the club, in which he, he's doing it right there on the field. That's somebody that you love to run behind. A clear path, and the blocking scheme. He's center gravity. He's mirroring the defensive tackle. I love it.
Well, I'm sorry. I meant Matt Hennessy. I'm sorry. Hennessy went to Philadelphia. Dahlman's going to probably become a guard. He's not going to be a center. After the experiment we've had, you might as well say we've let him go at that position. So I apologize for that. You know, my mistake. You know, they literally played exactly the same. Terrible. So, and I mean, too many snaps were on the ground. Too many turnovers.
Too many.
Like
Too
I said,
many.
we definitely need another center. I don't care who they got out there.
So
We need some more center help.
and Zach, and here's the thing: Zach Frazier is a guy that most people aren't talking too highly about. Now the scouts are talking about him, but most fans who don't really pay attention don't know much about that cat. And you apparently see violent, mean streak, and very highly intelligent when it comes into being a clean offensive lineman getting his job done.
Right.
And that's something that the Falcons also have to make sure that we don't get a lot of penalties with holding, because if you clear a lane like that, like this gentleman did, Bijan Robinson is going to eat, and Tyler Algier is literally going to get to the second level every time.
And he's creating when he tossing those people out the club, man. He's creating a cutback lane that opens up just enough time that Bijan can sprint through.
Exactly.
And you already at the second level, so man, we don't need to sleep on something like that.
No.
Yeah, man. I'm talking about he there. You snatch him.
Exactly. Because you remember what we talked about, because you've been saying, hey, we need a veteran center, and you alluded to this, and I said,
yeah, I do. Yeah, I want a veteran center, but if I'm getting a guy to draft, he wasn't on my radar, but he definitely on the radar now.
So you can definitely look up Zach Frazier. We got another guy, because they were talking about getting some pass catchers, getting Kirk Cousins more weapons, because all right, you got Mooney, you got Drake London. You have to have depth at that wide receiver position, because guys get hurt, especially at that position. They're always in the middle.
It's so deep. This draft so deep with receivers, man. It's ridiculous.
I got a guy by the name of Javon Baker. He's from Atlanta, and he played for UCF. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the footage out. 6'1", 208 pounds, has a great takeoff, runs good routes, he's very mentally tough, and he's physically tough as well. So fair use. We're gonna go ahead and play a little bit of Javon Baker's footage.
Fair use.
Man, he got to work on getting that foot down.
Yeah, you got to get the foot down.
And this is a guy that you can actually snatch up in the later rounds. Good hands, good body control. Definitely a solid piece that you can add in the lower third or fourth round. And he's a hometown boy. So what do you see in his game, Arnold? I had to pause it for a second. I'm gonna start it back in a sec. But what do you see in his game that you like as a receiver, and how he goes about his business?
He looked like a finesser. And when I say a finesser, like somebody who won't give you that wiggle and get open. He looked like a ball hawk from that first catch that I saw, going up and going to get it. Like I said, of course, you only need 1 foot in college, but it would have been amazing if he would have got that second foot now and been like, he's NFL ready. But I like it, man. I think he can, about 6-7 rounds. But I think even if he don't get drafted, I think that's one of them guys that gonna put it on when he get invited to a camp and just outshines the rest.
Yeah.
What you think, K-Dub?
I mean, I feel kind of similar to what Javon, I mean, not Javon, but what he thinks about the same situation. Him going in the later rounds to maybe possibly undrafted. I would rather go undrafted because you kind of pick the teams that are, available to you, that are reaching out to your agent and kind of pick a better situation for yourself if you don't get drafted. But I mean, it's always good to be drafted, but when you're drafted in those later rounds, it's going to be tough to make the team anyway. So, I would prefer to go undrafted if I'm going to go later rounds because you can kind of dictate what situation is best for you. How many receivers they have on the roster, the teams that are interested in you as an undrafted free agent. Then you can say, okay, well, they don't have that many receivers. I think I can make that team. So you can kind of dictate where you go if it's like 2 or 3 teams interested in you. But I really like the guy. But just to hit back on this draft being so deep. It's going to be a lot of great receivers. They're going to be undrafted in this draft because it's just too deep of receivers. So he's just another great one out there, But I do like his tape, but we'll see exactly where he falls. But the Falcons could take a look at him on late rounds to undrafted free agent. And like I said, bring him into camp. He may beat out one of these guys you drafted early. You just never know, man. It's
Well,
all about who won it. It's all
well,
about who won it.
well, let's go ahead and get to Odu Hilaire. He's a kid that started off at Alabama A&M before he transferred to Bowling Green University. He played with a guy that I spoke about highly. Akil Glass was his quarterback when he first started at Alabama A&M. So you'll get to see this guy. He's 5'11", 185 pounds, and he's lightning quick. Definitely got good hands and he attacks the ball. This is Odu Hilaire. Fair use, fair use, fair use.
He going through that middle.
Now, this is his last year that he was at Alabama A&M before he transferred to Bowling Green.
State coming with the blitz. He has time and Glass. What a great catch by Odu Hilaire, number 6. So you had Glass under pressure.
Yeah, kid.
Are you serious? I swear my money is serious. Okay, all my checks I just be clearing.
It's always a beautiful thing when you see Grambling getting hosed. Actually, no, that's not Grambling. I'm sorry. That's Arkansas Pine Bluff. My bad.
Glass fakes the hand.
That look in it helmet.
Fires into the end zone, and it's going to be a nice catch for the touchdown by Hilaire.
Now, that is his. Now here's the thing. Now this is his Alabama A&M days. Nothing's changed when you look at his Bowling Green State days. So this was his last. This was actually this year. So I'm actually playing this for you guys here for him at Bowling Green. Fair use, fair use, fair use.
I'm slamming in the vets. I don't really care for sex. I ain't getting nothing in a month. BBS drone set. You ain't with me, then you with the wrong set. This one I've been at my location on next. On the net.
Yeah, he fast.
My old homies, I regret I even met y'all. I don't play no game. I love to switch.
He's my right to the ball right there.
That separation is ridiculous. Now, if you look at it, I'm gonna go ahead and give my assessment on this guy before I let you guys break it down. He reminds me a lot of Taylor Gabriel. Route running, hands, and speed. All nothing but speed and everything else, man.
Yeah, my assessment is he's very quick. I think he'll fit the offense because he get in and out. His work is pretty quick. He's like he got pretty good hands on him, and I think he'll just be developed even more better once he gets to the NFL level.
That should Tutu Atwell right there, because think about it. Zach Robinson had Tutu Atwell. There you go, right there. Same.
So it just seemed like you had to have those fits. That's why I say you can get a guy. I feel like he's in that same tier of just the last receiver we just looked at. It's just that late round to undrafted free agent. Mm-hmm. But you kind of piecing the same players that you had in not New Orleans, but in Los Angeles. You know what I'm saying? Because you go get a Lab McConkey, that could be your Cooper Kupp. Then if you go get one of these guys, that could be your Tutu Atwell. See what I'm saying? So you just feeling those same attributes with those, the guys in this draft because it's loaded at receiver. If you don't go out and reap the rewards of the benefits of this year's receiver class, you're a fool. If you got a Kirk Cousins coming in, you can get him a plethora of weapons for the cheap if you
And
do your
keep him
homework.
upright.
Yeah, also to keep him upright because it's loaded with offensive linemen in this draft. Also, like the center that you pulled up.
Yep.
This is a deep draft with offensive linemen also. So I think if they've done their homework and crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's, man, they're gonna be ready to go, man. We'll come out with a plethora of guys drafted and undrafted and be ready to roll this upcoming season with the Falcons.
Yes, sir. So I got two more for you guys, and then we're gonna wrap up the show tonight. I gotta go. I gotta go on the defensive side of the ball. Offense, y'all got a lot of love tonight. Receivers and center, and you know what? I gotta go ahead and show some love to my old position, the
Okay.
safety spot. Got to. It's only right.
Okay.
So we have the gentleman by the name of Jalen Carlisle from Missouri, 6'3", 227 pounds at that safety position, and he can run from sideline to sideline. Very violent.
That's a big boy at safety.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Georgia Bulldogs found out about him a few times or whatnot. So this is a young man who really could fit a Jerry Gray defense, and you pair him with the DeMarco Helms, and you pair him up with, and you also pair him up with Bankhead Bates in this secondary, it would be nasty. So this is Jalen Carlisle from the Missouri Tigers. Fair use, fair use, fair use.
The sideline over and over. Here's Kyrus Jackson.
Down here.
The line 6. Hooker moves his feet around, going toward the end zone for McCoy, and it's incomplete. He was up to the right of Dennis Grossell.
It'll be Grossell on the keeper. And a great.
We'll do that, looking for a screen. McConkey.
Okay, slam a web. Yeah, okay.
Back to Mitchell. This is Nichols, beg your pardon, back in the game. Lou Nichols.
Right on the ground. They will stay there. Whitehead breaks a tackle.
Breaking free after some initial contact.
Here is Bernard Raymond.
Notice he fills the alley very well. He doesn't miss many tackles. Now he's a thumper, as you can see.
Too true. Levis from a muddy pocket, and it's bouncing off of a receiver, and it's picked off.
Blitz is coming. Here's Hyatt. And Hyatt out of bounds.
Kelly took advantage.
That was the second completion down to the 3-yard. And on the 13th play, Rodriguez loses the ball and fumbles, and it's from
towards that.
So I got a question for you, gentlemen. I'm gonna stop that one there. So, young guy, he can come down. I say he's a third, probably a second and third day guy, because there's a few things he can clean up on. But what do you like about this guy, Jalen Carlisle?
I see him coming downhill. And that's always as a running back, a safety coming downhill, that the angle is always the hardest to kind of maneuver around, because your eyes everywhere, and then you just see somebody just flying downhill. But I also see him, he's a ball hawk at the same time. I really like that he putting his nose in everybody's business, and he
yeah,
man, he not missing too many tackles at all from what I just saw that fast.
And just think about it. And he runs he's a 4.5, 4.4 guy at 227, 6'3".
Yeah, I mean, I just like that. I think his best football is ahead of him. Like he said, I feel like he's gonna be great coming downhill. Just making sure you wrapping up at the next level. And I like the fact that he has the size to play at the NFL level, and he's coming out of the SEC, which is one of the tougher conferences to come in. Where they're hitting hard already. So, and then like I said, he's not missing. Like you said, that's a key thing, not missing tackles. So I feel like he's another guy we can add to our secondary because. Just like Coach Mike Smith alluded to, a lot of times don't get caught up in the 3-4 to 4-3. We're gonna get 4 or 5 wide a lot. So it's kind of like we gotta need all kind of secondary help to come out there and match up with these different receivers and these different tight ends they're gonna be placing out there to play against us out there in this upcoming season.
If we bring a guy like this in with us playing a 3-4 defense, I'm comfortable because you got Helms on one side, you'd have him and Bankhead Bates. Hey, the linebackers got a lot of help in the back.
Yeah.
They got a lot of help with that. So I'm just saying, I think you could get him in the 3rd or 4th round. So
No. I feel like that's a sweet spot by 4th round, three to four,
and
3 to 4.
he would be a guy. I'm gonna be honest with you. You draft him and get rid of Richie Grant's bum ass. I don't care. Scoop, you gonna be mad at me? I'm standing 10 toes down on it. That Joker couldn't tackle a wet paper bag if you gave it to him. I'm just being honest, dog. Missed too many tackles, gets left behind on passing assignments. You got a kid that's 6'3", 227, can run from sideline to sideline, can cover, and has covered some of the fastest receivers. Heck, you saw Lad McConkey ran a 4.4, 4.3, 4.4 in his 40. He was literally bottling up Lad. Even in routes, he wouldn't let him get off the line. Kyrus Jackson, another tough receiver. Peach County tough. Shout out to those boys down there in Peach County. He definitely had his way with him. And if you look at him in the run game, he literally took out Rodriguez, who was one of the top running backs in the SEC at the time. And that was that was before he ended up leaving, getting drafted out of Kentucky. So when you look at the competition that kid has gone up against, and he was I call him the unknown soldier, because on that defense, don't nobody talk about that cat like that. He's quiet. They're talking about the corner, or they're talking about the edge rusher coming up out of Missouri. They're not even saying anything about him on the back end. He was a menace. So that is a guy that I think that the Falcons might want to look at and actually just give him a look. That's my opinion. Now, I know a lot of people aren't. I know we're throwing names out here for you guys. We already know the names that are contemporary, that's talked about every day on ESPN, that's beating over everybody's head. But on here, we talk about the guys that you might not know too much about, or the guys that actually can play some ball that have no kind of recognition at all, that's going to probably slide into the organization quietly and catch you by surprise.
Yeah,
So
yeah, because that's where you build your team at in the later
exactly.
rounds, man. The first couple rounds are the splash players, and then the glue of your teams are the 4th, 5th rounders. You know what I'm saying? You got Grady Jarrett in the 5th. We got Tyler
Mhm.
Algier in the 5th. So you got to think as a listener or subscriber out there, man. Well, who we taking in the 5th round? We go get a gem in the 5th.
Now, I
So
got one more for you before we wrap this thing up. Guy by the name of Tyrese Knight, 6'3", 233 pounds, out of Lakeland, Florida. And if you know anything about them Lakeland area boys, you know they put out football players and track stars. That's two things that you definitely gonna get out of that area. So this is a gentleman. He's at UTEP. Not many folks are talking about him either. And he definitely has a nose for the football. And I'll put it this way. He would be a miniature Devondre Campbell without the dreads. That's the best way to describe this young man. So here is Tyrese Knight of UTEP. Fair use.
Sometimes the corner for a gap exchange.
Down in 3, this may be 4-down territory. I don't think he got the first.
It's almost like the end of a half or end of the game where you're bleeding the clock. They're still running tempo, but there doesn't seem to be against this very same defense a year ago, and their name was Oklahoma. A team that a change in quarterback can help here at the end of the 4th quarter.
Smothers will keep it. We were told by Rob.
One thing you can see is he has a nose for the football.
Yes, sir.
If you ever notice, he gets off of blocks. He doesn't let anybody get on his pads, and he definitely comes downhill in a hurry. So Arnold, when you're looking at film like this and you're watching linebackers back in your film days, what would you say about a guy like this that you have to study for and you have to be aware of?
Oh man, he's sound.
He'll back you.
Yeah,
He gonna get it.
I'm watching him just like how I watch film right now too.
Several blockers set up here.
What I'm saying,
Maybe a disguise though. Although UTEP,
he's patient, but at the same time, once you see that hole, he's just like a running back. Once you see that hole, you hit it.
here in this third
I
quarter.
can tell.
Northwestern has a new signal caller in the game, handing it off again.
That was a
Once you
nice
see that
test.
hole, he's hitting it, but he's precise every time.
Last year, Delora, 3rd and 6.
Ooh.
This time across the middle.
And this is why I was saying that shit Devondre Campbell, because if you notice, he can actually run from sideline to sideline as well.
And Delora has to pump it.
I'm saying,
Besides way to 4 out of 5. Direct snap. Ooh, and a big hit.
Besides one or two of those clips, what I'm looking for at a linebacker when I play, okay, is this one of the guys that if we meet head up, am I going to get extra yards at yards at the contact? Besides only 2 players that I saw on that one, a running back or the quarterback was able to get like 2 yards, but besides that, soon he making contact, the ball carrier going down. That's somebody that's heavy. That's somebody who's.
That's what I was getting ready to ask you.
I don't need no help getting this man down. So
yeah, I only know help.
Yeah,
that's what I was gonna ask you. Does he look like he a little heavy to you, my boy?
That's one of them. That's one of them guys. I can't give you all my body because it's gonna be a hit and we both go sideways or.
Well, he gonna catch you before you even get a first step.
Right.
Yeah.
And those be the worst hits.
So K-Dub. So when you look at how he plays in the passing game, he can drop. He can actually get to the point A to point B really quick. And if you notice, he doesn't just play middle linebacker. He also plays on the outside, on the Sam, and he also plays on the will. I think he would be better at the weak side linebacker than me. That's just me.
I just say let's get him in the defense and let Jimmy Lake figure out where to put him in. You might move him around, man. I mean, like I said, when you playing at 3-4, you just want to see where he fits best at in that defense, and then go from there.
But here's the thing: everybody's talking about the edge rusher. I'm like, okay, we get an edge rusher. You got to have some linebacker depth because we experienced some injuries last year at that linebacker spot.
Yeah.
And my thing is, if you're gonna build up depth, that is a young man that you go after. That's a guy that you can get in the 5th or 6th round. That is a guy that you bring in and you mold him. To me, I feel like he would be a Jerry. Jerry Gray is the assistant head coach. Jimmy Lake's is the defensive coordinator. Jerry Lake's the assistant DC. I promise you, in that defense, 3-4 defense, with his capabilities of being able to drop into coverage and to hit the gaps and take out running backs, he definitely would be somebody that could be a problem on this defense and help the Falcons continue to have a stingy defense like we had last year. So that's pretty much who we have for you guys tonight. We do the spotlight normally, and we'll have people to come in with us. But tonight we had an interview, and we wanted to do something different. We wanted to get a former player's perspective, especially a running back, so he could give you on both sides of the ball. And it was a blessing to have you in here, Mr. Walker. So
thank you, man, for coming through the cage.
That's a hell of a last name, by the way.
Yes, sir. I peeped that.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, it was a privilege first and foremost. You guys doing a hell of a great job. Just even bringing attention to the younger guys, because I was one of the guys who are not actually on the big platforms of getting drafted. I was one of those guys. I know how it feels, but for you to spotlight them and just even talk about them, that's huge. I commend you guys, what you guys doing, and it was fun tonight.
Well, we definitely appreciate you for coming through. We definitely gonna have you to come back, my guy. We definitely gonna have you coming back during the season.
I'm ready.
Well, look, we gonna have you coming back. We gonna have Steve Weiss coming back. Coach Smith say he want to come back. So it's like, man, it's gonna be fun when the season starts, and we can actually talk about how the new draft class is gonna come in. And by the way, we have a draft show next week, ladies and gentlemen, on the Birdcage. And what we're gonna do for this draft special, we're gonna allow fans to come in here chill with us, talk about what you like about the draft picks and what you don't like. A little something different that we're doing this year that we didn't do last year. That was our first draft show last year. We had fun doing it, but guess what? We want to make it even better. So we want you to get involved with us to come through and chop it up with us this year, man. Come on in. Just listen. I got the refrigerator full of Kool-Aid. I got lemonade. I got, in the cool outside, I got the adult beverages for the folks. We got the fried chicken, the collard greens, mac and cheese, sweet potato pie, candy yam. We got everything up in here. Peach cobbler. So just come in for some Southern soul hospitality, and we're gonna talk some good stuff about these Falcons this year.
Sir.
Yeah, man. We're gonna talk it to it, speaking it to existence. We're gonna have an outstanding draft. Let's go, Terry, Team Terry, and Team Raheem. Let's get it.
Can I pay a quick bill real quick?
Oh,
Go
yeah,
ahead,
please do.
To all the listeners out there who tuned in, I have a clothing line, urban clothing line, Dreams to Reality. It basically speaks for everyone, black, white, no matter how old you are. Dreams7.com, Dreams with a Z, 7.com. It's the next biggest thing. I'm telling you. We got some new merch coming. We got new merch coming. So stay tuned if you haven't already checked it out. If you haven't supported, it's coming, man.
Mike, I'm gonna get that time. So that's Island Mike that was asking about the draft time. Mike, I'm gonna get that time for you. But normally we're gonna probably start 30 minutes before the draft. We're not gonna start when the draft starts. We're gonna start 30 minutes before the draft because what I'm gonna do, we're gonna let people come through, and even before the draft starts, you tell us what you're excited about, what you want, what you possibly don't want, and what you think the Falcons are gonna do. In Mike's case, as Mike is a lifelong Falcon fan for over 20 years, he's gonna say they're gonna disappoint me again, as Mike would always say. But I believe this new regime might be a little different. I got to give him a shot because Raheem Morris already kicked in the door when he said, "Hey man, I want to coach like Georgia. I want to win." And it's no need for us to let talent leave the state. He's already said that. So if you ever look at some of these players that we spot, not just us, but the Falcons have spotlighted and they've met with current Georgia Bulldog players and Georgia players that transferred to other schools and had great careers elsewhere. So he's looking to get the best talent. It doesn't matter where they come from. He's even, as we said, he's got Coach Black on staff. So Coach Black is known for having HBCU ties. So don't be surprised we pull in a couple of HBCU boys this year. Do not be surprised because Xavier Smith definitely kicked the door in for FAMU last year as a wide receiver for the Rams and made a lot of noise. So, it'll be a beautiful thing to see us to get, some HBCU players because truthfully, I'm sorry to say it, our best players in this organization have come from HBCUs. Claude Humphrey, Hall of Famer. You got Ken Reeves, Norfolk State, who should be a Hall of Famer. Should be in the Falcons Ring of Honor, I'm sorry. And then you also have Alfred Jenkins, Morris Brown alum, right across the street. So my thing is, it's time to go ahead and start opening the door and letting some of these young men that are coming back from HBCUs, that are putting HBCUs back on the map because they never went anywhere. The problem was the media pushed them aside. Let's go ahead and start opening these doors for young men that are coming out of HBCUs because you surely tried for FCS schools and those smaller schools, you give those guys a chance. I feel like you need to give these guys from black colleges a chance as well. I stand on it. So if you don't like what I'm saying, you can change the dial. But I'm always gonna sit here and stand 10 toes down, even for them stinking Grambling Tigers. I don't like them, never will, never have. But I will always respect that program and Coach Eddie Robinson and what he built and the factory that he opened doors for so many HBCU players to get to the NFL. Rest in peace to Paul Tank Younger, who was the first black player drafted out of an HBCU to the NFL. And also, rest in peace to Coach Eddie Robinson, who also gave us one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time that don't get enough credit, and that's Doug Williams. So, yes, sir. So,
hey man, I want to. You guys brought me on. I want to, at least try and help with something. I know we spoke about them earlier. but I know I still have good contact with a great coach who we were speaking about, Coach Matt. And I don't know, you guys might have a list waiting of guys to come on the show, but I can at least try to get him on the show.
It would be an honor to get Coach Fred McNair on the air and to do a show with one of my favorite players, Big Brother. And I watched, highlights of Coach Fred McNair at Alcorn State being a monster. Steve just really was a carbon copy of his big brother. I'm sorry.
Right.
But again, shout out to those boys, the Alcorn State Braves. Gotta give a shout out, Got to give them a shout out. Shout out to all the HBCUs. Real football is played in the SWAC, but I got to give a little love to the MEAC and also got to give love to the CIAA. You already know how we get down, baby. Shout out to K-Dub for coming into the building tonight before he had to go pay some bills. Shout out to our guy, Larry, the Dixon Way. He slid through.
Larry.
We appreciate it. Check out the best commentary for Atlanta sports. They actually do all Atlanta sports, from the Hawks, who just got beat last night. We're not going to talk about that.
Hey, look, we got to make some serious
Falcons,
decisions.
Dogs, and even Larry's wife's sorry Gators. I'm not gonna talk bad about Miss Dixon. Miss Dixon, she be on point. But them Gators, they got to go. Them Lizards got to go. But anywho, man, we thank you guys for coming on. We're gonna have some advertisement going on pretty soon for the NFL draft show. You guys check us out. We love you. If you're going through anything at this point, because a lot of people I've talked to, and I don't ever get too religious on the show because I don't know how people are, but I always want to bring hope to people that might have some dim things, because I got some stuff in my life going on, and it's a blessing to talk to great individuals such as K-Dub, my magnificent Birdcage family, and everybody else. I'll say this. Tough times don't last. Tough people do. God gives you an opportunity to have a chance and a choice. You have a chance to make something happen each day. You have a choice to decide which direction you're going to go when it comes to that. So if you're going through a tough time, just pull your bootstraps up, put your prayer hands up, look up to the sky, pray. Hey, Lord, get me through this, because I already know I'm going to give you the effort to put myself in a position to be successful and succeed. Because without God, we have nothing out in this world. So thank you guys again for coming on. K-Dub, we appreciate it. My guy Arnold coming through. And you guys, I love y'all and thank y'all for the support. Please hit that like button on the way out. If you have not subscribed to this channel, go ahead and subscribe to us, because at the end of the day, we still want to keep bringing you some content. And we have some future guests that are some former Falcon players that might be coming through. I'm not going to give too much of it away, but y'all stay tuned, baby. We got you covered. We love you. Good night.